Right now, your heart is beating a little faster than it needs to. Your shoulders are tighter than they should be. There is a low hum of tension running through your body, and you probably haven't noticed it at all. You think you're just sitting there, reading an email, waiting for a reply, scrolling through your phone. But your body doesn't think that. Your body thinks something else entirely. Your body thinks there might be a lion nearby. That sounds strange. You're not in a savanna. You're not anywhere near a predator. But the systems running underneath your skin right now were not built for offices, or phones, or emails. They were built for a different world, one that lasted far longer than the one you live in now. And your body never got the memo that it ended. So what is actually happening inside you? To understand it, you have to go back. Not a few decades, not a few centuries. You have to go back hundreds of thousands of years to a time when your ancestors lived in small groups on open land, surrounded by animals that wanted to eat them. For most of human history, the single most useful skill a body could have wasn't intelligence. It wasn't language. It was speed of reaction. The humans who survived long enough to have children were not necessarily the smartest ones. They were the ones whose bodies reacted to danger before their minds even understood what danger was. This is where your nervous system comes in. Deep inside your brain sits a small almond-shaped structure called the amygdala. Decode that for a second. It's not some abstract concept. It's a literal physical cluster of neurons sitting just behind your temples, and its entire job is threat detection. It doesn't wait for you to think. It reacts first and thinks later. The neuroscientist Joseph Ledoux spent decades studying exactly this pathway, and what he found changed how scientists understood fear itself. There are two routes information can take in your brain when something threatening appears. One route goes through your thinking brain, slow, careful, reasoned. The other route skips thinking entirely and goes straight to your body. Your ancestors who waited to think it through often didn't survive. The ones who reacted first did. That's the body you inherited. Here's where it gets stranger. Your amygdala doesn't actually know the difference between a lion and an angry email from your boss. Both register as a threat. Both trigger the same ancient alarm system. Your body floods with adrenaline. Your heart rate spikes. Blood gets pulled away from your digestive system and pushed toward your arms and legs, because 200,000 years ago, the only two options that mattered were fight or flight. Your pupils dilate slightly, letting in more light, so you can see danger better. Your muscles tense, ready to spring. None of this happens because you decided it should. It happens because your body is still running code that was written for the savannah, not for the inbox. Think about the last time you felt that jolt. A notification, a missed deadline, a tense conversation. Your palms got slightly damp. Your jaw tightened. Maybe your stomach dropped. That wasn't really about the email. That was a few 100,000 years of evolutionary programming, mistaking a screen for a predator. This is where the work of Robert Sapolsky becomes useful. Sapolsky, a neuroendocrinologist who spent years studying stress in primates, pointed out something that should unsettle you a little. Zebras get stressed when a lion is chasing them. Then the chase ends, one way or another, and the stress ends too. Their bodies return to baseline almost immediately. Humans are different. Humans can trigger the exact same stress response just by thinking about a problem. No lion required, no physical danger at all. Just a thought, and the body reacts as if the lion were already there. You don't actually need a predator to activate the predator response. You just need a worry that feels big enough. This is why modern stress feels so exhausting in a way that ancient stress probably didn't. Ancient stress was sharp, short, and resolved quickly. Either you escaped the lion or you didn't. Either way, it was over within minutes. Modern stress doesn't resolve. The email is still there tomorrow. The deadline is still looming next week. Your body keeps firing the same ancient alarm, over and over, for a threat that never fully arrives and never fully leaves. Your ancestors' bodies were built for short bursts of extreme danger, followed by long stretches of calm. Your body today is stuck in the short burst, on repeat, with no calm in between. Now here's the part that really should make you pause. This isn't only about stress hormones and racing hearts. It's about behavior you do every single day without noticing. Why do you flinch slightly when someone walks up behind you quietly? Why does a sudden loud noise make you jump before you've even processed what it was? Why? When you walk into a dark room, does some small part of you scan the corners before you even turn on the light? You're not doing any of that on purpose. The psychologist Daniel Kahneman, who spent his career studying how the human mind makes fast decisions, described this as one system in your brain operating automatically, instantly, beneath conscious thought, while a second, slower system handles reasoning and reflection. The fast system was shaped over an enormous span of evolutionary time to react first and ask questions later. It doesn't know that your office has no predators in it. It doesn't know that the rustling sound was just the air conditioning. It treats ambiguous signals as potential danger because for almost the entire history of your species, that was the safer bet. A body that overreacts to a falling leaf survives. A body that underreacts to an actual predator does not get a second chance. So evolution built you cautious, built you jumpy, built you to treat uncertainty as danger until proven otherwise. This explains something that might be bothering you more than you realized. That background hum of anxiety, the one that doesn't seem tied to anything specific. The way your mind drifts toward worst-case scenarios when you're lying in bed at night. The way silence sometimes feels louder than noise. None of this is a malfunction. It's an ancient survival strategy, running in an environment it was never designed for. Consider how this plays out in something as ordinary as a meeting at work. Someone glances at their phone while you're talking. Nothing happened. No words were exchanged. But your body doesn't process it that way. A flicker of doubt rises. Did I say something wrong? Are they annoyed? Should I have prepared more? None of these thoughts are really about the phone glance. They are your ancient threat detection system trying to figure out, in real time, whether your social standing within the group has just been quietly threatened. That matters more than it sounds like it should, because for most of human history, your social standing within the group was almost as important as escaping a predator. Anthropologists studying small-scale hunter-gatherer societies, including extensive work by researchers like Sarah Hrdy on the cooperative nature of early human child-rearing, have pointed out that humans survived not through individual strength, but through group cohesion. Being cast out of the group did not just feel bad, it was often a death sentence. No protection, no shared food, no one to watch your back while you slept. So your brain learned to treat social rejection with the same biological urgency as physical danger. A cold response from a friend, a joke that didn't land, a message left unread for 3 days. Your body responds to all of these with a milder version of the exact same alarm it would use for a predator in the grass, because for nearly all of human history, the two threats were, in a very real sense, the same threat. This is part of why heartbreak feels physical, why social exclusion can feel like an ache in your chest, why being ignored by a group can trigger something that feels disproportionately heavy for what, on paper, seems like a small event. Your body isn't being dramatic. It's running an ancient calculation, one where being alone meant being unprotected, and being unprotected meant being prey. You are, quite literally, walking around with a threat detection system built for the African savanna, deploying it on traffic jams, group chats, and performance reviews. And your body cannot tell the difference. It doesn't downgrade a passive-aggressive text to minor annoyance. It treats it the same way it would treat a rustle in the grass. Slight elevation in heart rate, slight tightening in the chest, a small, ancient voice somewhere underneath your ribs whispering, "Something might be wrong. Pay attention." What's fascinating is that this system isn't broken. It's actually working exactly as designed. The problem isn't the alarm. The problem is that the world changed far faster than the alarm could. 200,000 years is an enormous amount of time for a body to develop a survival strategy. It is no time at all for that strategy to update itself for smartphones, deadlines, and inboxes. Your nervous system is, in a very real sense, a 100,000-year-old piece of technology, running in a world that redesigned itself a few decades ago and forgot to tell your body. So what do you do with that? You can't switch off your amygdala. You can't rewire 200,000 years of evolution by Tuesday afternoon. But understanding what's actually happening changes something important. The next time your heart races over a notification, you're not weak. And you're not overreacting in some personal, unique way. You are doing exactly what your ancestors did, using exactly the tools they used, just aimed at the wrong target. There's actually something quietly reassuring in that. The racing heart, the tight chest, the sudden jolt of alertness when your phone lights up at an odd hour. None of it is evidence that something is wrong with you specifically. It's evidence that you are, biologically speaking, exactly the kind of creature that was supposed to survive. The nervous, watchful, slightly too alert version of a human being is the version that made it through ice ages, predators, famine, and migration across entire continents. Calm, relaxed, unbothered ancestors did not pass on as many genes. The anxious ones did. In a strange way, your jumpiness is a kind of inheritance, a gift even, if an inconvenient one. It's proof that somewhere far back along an unbroken chain of people you will never meet, someone's body reacted a half-second faster than it needed to, and that half-second was enough. Knowing this won't stop your palms from sweating before a presentation. It won't stop the small lurch in your stomach when an unknown number calls late at night. But it might change how you relate to that feeling. Instead of asking, "Why am I like this?" you can ask a more accurate question. What is this very old system trying to protect me from right now, and is it actually here? Most of the time, when you ask that question honestly, the answer is no. There was no lion. There never is most days, but your body still checks. Every time. Just in case. And somewhere underneath the calm surface of your ordinary day, a system built for a much older, much more dangerous world is still, quietly, faithfully, keeping watch. So tonight, when your phone buzzes and your stomach tightens for half a second before you even look at the screen, remember what that feeling actually is. It isn't fear of a text message. It's a few 100,000 years of survival instinct, still scanning the grass for movement, still listening for the lion.